Good morning, everyone. This is Neha Rastogi from the Millennium School, South City, Lucknow. Good morning, dear children. Today we are meeting after a very long time. Children, until last video, we were discussing about the commercial banks, right? I told you commercial banks are the banks of the individuals. That means they are the banks which deals with us, which deals with the people in the society. Right, but there was another type of bank which I discussed with you, and that is central bank. There can be many commercial banks in a country, but central bank is a sole bank in the country. It is only one in the country, right? Every country has only one central bank. In India, the central bank is known as Reserve Bank of India. It is known by different names in different countries, right? In India, RBI was established on 1st April 1935. Children, in India, RBI was established on 1st April 1935. Children, it is an apex institution. Why it is called an apex institution? Because it is the supreme most institution of the financial sector. It makes all the rules and regulations and controls the whole banking system of the country. It is an apex institution that controls the whole, and it actually forms the rules and regulations which directs the whole banking system of the country. Right? Now here are certain functions of commercial banks, children. There are three main functions of commercial bank. The first and the most important and the unique characteristic or function of commercial bank, central bank, is that it is the bank of issue. Bank of issue means that it issues the currency in the country. Children, we see currency in two forms, in the form of notes and also in the form of coins. Coins are not minted by RBI, right? Coins in India are minted by the your finance ministry, whereas the notes are printed in India by central bank. Please remember this. Notes are issued by the central bank, they are printed by the central bank, whereas coins are minted by the finance ministry and not by the central bank. Right, children? So the first function of the central bank is it is the bank of issue, or you can say it is the bank of currency authority. Second is it is the banker, agent and financial advisor to the government. It acts as a banker, as an agent and as a financial advisor to the government. And third function is it acts as a bankers to the banks. Bankers to the banks means it acts as a banker for the commercial banks. Now, when it acts as a banker to the commercial bank, it performs four different functions. First is it reserves the cash with itself, cash deposited by the commercial banks. So, it acts as a custodian of cash reserve. It keeps the cash reserves of various commercial banks in its custody. Right? It is the lender of the last resort. Last resort means the last way, right? It is the lender of the last resort. That means whenever your commercial banks are unable to get the funds from any of the other organizations or from any other sources, they come to the central bank and they get the loans from the central bank, right? They also act as clearing house agents, which I will explain later, and they act as the supervisors, right? Now let's see all these functions one by one. First function, it acts as a bank of issue or currency authority, right? Children, central bank has the sole authority. Sole means it is the only bank that issues currency notes in the country. The notes issued by the central bank are legal tender money, right? The notes issued by the central bank are legal tender money. Children, when I say legal tender, it means which is acceptable by law, right? So whatever currency whatever notes that they print are the legal tender money in the country. It can be accepted for each and every transactions, in exchange of each and every transactions in the country, right? The main advantages of the sole authority of note issue with the central bank are, you know what? When it has the sole authority, it has certain advantages. Now, first advantage is it leads to the uniformity in the notes. When we say uniformity in the notes, now suppose children, if Bank of Baroda would have been printing 100 rupee note of some different type, and Punjab National Bank would have been printing 100 rupee note of different type. Now what would have happened? There would have no uniformity in the notes. Today, from far enough, we can see the note and we can recognize that whether it is a 100 rupee note or a 10 rupee note or a 20 rupee note. Why? Because there is a uniformity. It is issued only by one authority. Now, if it would have been issued by different authorities, they would have been different in their looks, right? So, it would have been very difficult during transactions, because maybe I may not like to accept the notes issued by Bank of Baroda. You may not like to accept the notes issued by Punjab National Bank, or etc. etc. So, this is one of the advantage, that when it's the sole authority, that is central bank or RBI in India, issues the notes, there is the uniformity in the currency. Children, it also ensures the faith of the public in the currency. You know why? Because that is the currency which is issued by RBI, by the central bank, and it is a legal tender money. It can at any point of time, it cannot be at any point of time called as illegal money, right? It is only if the government says or the RBI says that from now onwards, like they did demonetization, and they said that now onwards 500 rupee note and 1000 rupee note will not be considered as legal tender, right? So it is they who decide what is legal tender and what is non-legal tender. Understood? It gives the central bank the power to influence the supply of money in the economy, children. Now, how do central bank influences the supply of money in the economy? That means whenever central bank wants, it can print more currency and can supply more currency in the economy. So actually the supply of money in the economy is in the hands of the central bank. It also enables the government to have control over the central bank in respect of the credit created by them. You know what? We have studied about the commercial banks, and one of the function of commercial bank is that it creates credit in the economy. Now that credit can be created, that credit can be controlled by central bank. We will see how it can be controlled. Second function is central bank acts as a banker, agent and financial advisor to the government. Now children, if we talk about as a banker, it shares the same relationship with the government as commercial bank shares the relationship with us, right? With the general public. That means central bank accepts the deposits of the government and they also grant loans to the government. Right? So as a banker, central bank has the same relationship with the government that commercial banks have with the general public. It accepts the deposits from the government and grants loans to the government. Right? As an agent, what does central bank do for the government? As an agent, the central bank manages the debt of the government. That means whenever government requires some loans, right, it arranges for the loans, and whenever government has to pay back that loan, it also arranges for the finances. So for the government, it acts as the agent and works on behalf of the government, right? It also accepts the payments on behalf of the government and make payments on behalf of the government. So it acts basically as an agent for the government. As a financial advisor, central bank advises the government on various economic and financial matters, right? So it is a financial advisor to the government. Like during demonetization, RBI advised the government that what all can be done. It keeps on advising the government on the financial matters of the country. Then the last function is it acts as a banker's bank and supervisor. Now children, when it acts as a banker's bank, that means it shares some relationship with the commercial banks. Now what type of relationship it shares with the commercial bank? Commercial banks have the same type of relationship with the central bank which they have with the general public. That means the relationship with general public and commercial bank is similar to the relationship between commercial banks and central bank. Now how? As the banker's bank, it can provide loans to the commercial banks, and it can also accept the deposits from the commercial banks. That is why it is known as the custodian of cash reserves. Now commercial banks are required to keep, actually children, commercial banks are required to keep some part of their total deposits with the central bank. Suppose a commercial bank receives 1 crore rupees, right? It has got 1 crore rupees. It cannot use that whole 1 crore rupees for giving loans. It has